Hey everyone, welcome to this video where I show you how to make this football graphic. As always, before we get into things, make sure you like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see next, so let's jump straight into it. So as you can see, I've got the previous graphic that the past designer made, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some assets from this graphic here and take the kits and stuff and place them into the previous graphic here to create this Team of the Week graphic. And what we'll do is we'll use some of the assets I've made this year and some of the past assets to create a new and refurbished Team of the Week tile. So let's jump straight into it. What I've actually gone and done is source the kits from the kit provider. So this will help us with actually making these kits look proper and all that, just because before it didn't look too professional, and obviously with all these assets and stuff we're building out, we want these to look as professional as possible. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of the rectangle layer that I've made, and we'll delete the original group. But what I'm actually going to do is chuck the same camera raw filter over the top of this, just because it's the vibe that we're going for. Now what we'll do is we'll drag these and make them a little smaller, move them across like so. Now that we've done the majority of it, now we can just move these all across. Grab the 4 that we want, and again, just move them down. We'll group them all together, and again, we'll re-add our outer glow for the shadow. And adding in the rectangle back in behind. And we'll move what we were basing the graphic off behind, change the color from white to blue, like so. Move it down again, just so they all start matching. And again, move that down. Starting to shape up nice, which is good. What I'm going to do here is hide the 2 layers, and we'll clip this one on and overlay it so it sits onto our rectangle layer, and make sure our sides are hiding. It's just a rooster with a couple overlays on it, and then we'll move this one in like so, grouping it together, and just making sure this has soft light on it. What we'll do is we'll change this layer to soft light, and just so it sticks onto the image, we'll resize this. And what we actually want is for the pitch to be inside the graphic and not outside, and make sure those corners are hidden like so. We just want to mirror exactly what was previously made, and we'll add an outer glow behind it, but we'll just bring in the size of it, just so we have that real strong line behind it. And again, we'll group these rectangles together and add some outer glow behind it. Now what we're going to do with the rectangle selected, we're going to select the whole entire frame, group them together, make sure it's middled, which it definitely isn't. We'll just middle it ourselves based off what we can see. Before we actually do that, we'll make sure so it matches the exact shape and sizing from the previous Team of the Week graphic, just because we want everything looking the same. Moving along, deleting the layer mask and adding it again. And now getting rid of the behind layer. Now I don't want the opacity to be so strong on these, we just want a little bit of outer glow behind. And we'll move these ones across again. Now what we'll do is we'll copy this kit. Now what we'll do is we'll copy the field and put it behind, like so. I'm going to hide this just so I can see what I'm working on. Get rid of any previous layer masks on it, and we'll invert it so it comes to a nice little white. Now what we'll do is we'll turn down that outer glow really down. And I'm going to move the original one to the top so I can see what it looks like compared to the previous one. And we'll chuck that opacity down to around like 40%, just because we don't want those lines as strong. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the font called Dharma Gothic E. And we'll type in team. Make the text nice and large. Then using the yellow from the club logo, which is this, we'll duplicate it and move it along like so. Change this to of. make it small, duplicate it down, type in dirt, and move that down again. Make the text a little smaller, make sure it's middled, like so. And then we'll move this text across again and type in the week, or week. And slightly just moving the text across. Now we'll just group all of it together. What we want is we'll select the rectangle and we'll make sure it's middled. Make it a tiny little smaller, move it a little bit across, just because we kind of actually want it middled where the kits are. And I actually might make these just the regular version of the font, and we'll move the rectangles across slightly, just because on the original one they actually are hanging off the logos a little bit. Next step for me is I'm going to add in this little branding piece up in the top right corner, just because it makes the assets within the side of the graphic look a lot nicer, and it just, you know, gives an extra little flush to the piece that we're already creating. Now what I'm going to do with my next font is I'm going to type in, actually change the font to Monument Extended Regular and change our color to white, and we'll type in supported by, and we'll drag and drop the logo of the sponsor in, like so. And we'll just move this up slightly so it's in line with everything else, and just occupying that kind of dead space that we've got going there. What we'll do next is we'll get the respective logos of each competition, which is NPL Northern New South Wales, and that will be our first one that we put in the top left corner, and we'll change this to white, so we'll just press Control our nice blue that we've got going here. Might even take it from there. There we go. Then what I'm going to do is search up PYL Northern New South Wales logo. I'll speed this process up. There we go, and that's how we make this Team of the Week graphic. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see next in the comments. See ya.